Welcome back to our channel. Have you ever wondered about the hidden stories behind some of the most influential figures in the Bible? Today, we're diving into the captivating legacy of Ishmael, the son of Abraham, the father of 12 powerful tribes, and the ancestor of a vast and diverse people. But who were these tribes? Where are their descendants today? And what is the spiritual significance of Ishmael's story in our lives? In this video, we'll uncover the answers to these questions, exploring ancient prophecies, historical evidence, and the profound impact that Ishmael's descendants have had on the world. From the bustling trade routes of the Arabian Peninsula to the deep spiritual lessons that resonate even now, this journey through time is one you won't want to miss. So, stick around until the end as we reveal the fascinating connections between the past and present. If you enjoy discovering hidden biblical truths and deepening your understanding of God's Word, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Share this video with your friends and family to spread the knowledge and support us as we continue bringing you content that enlightens and inspires. Let's get started on this incredible journey into the legacy of Ishmael. Let's start at the beginning of Ishmael's birth and God's promise. Ishmael was the firstborn son of Abraham, born to Hagar, Sarah's Egyptian maidservant. His birth is recorded in Genesis chapter 16, verse 15. So Hagar bore Abram a son, and Abram named his son, whom Hagar bore, Ishmael. To fully grasp the significance of Ishmael's birth, we must look at the context surrounding it. Abraham and Sarah were given a divine promise by God that they would have a son, through whom God's covenant would be established. However, as years passed and Sarah remained barren, she grew desperate. In Genesis chapter 16, verses 1 to 2, Sarah proposed a solution to Abraham. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, had borne him no children, and she had an Egyptian maidservant whose name was Hagar. So Sarai said to Abram, "See now, the Lord has restrained me from bearing children. Please go in to my maid, perhaps I shall obtain children by her." And Abram heeded the voice of Sarai. This decision led to the birth of Ishmael, but it also created tension within the household. As soon as Hagar became pregnant, the relationship between her and Sarah became strained, and Hagar fled into the wilderness. It's here, in the wilderness, that we encounter a profound moment of divine intervention. The angel of the Lord found Hagar by a spring of water in the desert and spoke to her, making a promise that would shape Ishmael's future. And the angel of the Lord said to her, "Behold, you are with child, and you shall bear a son. You shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord has heard your affliction. He shall be a wild man, his hand shall be against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren." Genesis chapter 16, verses 11 to 12. The name Ishmael itself is significant. It means God hears. This reflects God's attentiveness to Hagar's suffering and his willingness to intervene on behalf of her and her unborn child. In this prophecy, we see the complexities of Ishmael's future. On one hand, he is blessed and assured of survival and prominence. On the other hand, his life would be marked by conflict, a wild man whose descendants would live in constant tension with others. This duality sets the stage for the dynamic role Ishmael and his descendants would play in history. Another significant moment occurs later in Genesis 17, when God reiterates his covenant with Abraham and introduces the promise of Isaac, Abraham's son through Sarah. However, God does not forget Ishmael. In Genesis chapter 17, verse 20, God assures Abraham, "And as for Ishmael, I have heard you. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. He shall beget 12 princes, and I will make him a great nation." This verse further cements the importance of Ishmael in God's plan. Although he was not the child of promise in the same way Isaac was, Ishmael was not overlooked. God's blessing on Ishmael was real and substantial, promising not only survival but greatness and prosperity. Finally, we see God's continued care for Ishmael in Genesis 21. After Isaac is born, The tensions between Sarah and Hagar intensify, leading to Hagar and Ishmael being sent away into the desert. It is here, in a moment of despair, that God again intervenes. Hagar, fearing for her son's life, weeps, but God hears their cries. Then God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water, and she went and filled the skin with water and gave the lad a drink. So God was with the lad, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness and became an archer. Genesis chapter 21 verses 19 to 20. This passage not only emphasizes God's provision, but also marks the beginning of Ishmael's life in the wilderness, where he would become a great nation, fulfilling the promise God had made. This detailed exploration of Ishmael's birth and the promises surrounding it provides us with a deeper understanding of his significance in biblical history. Despite the circumstances of his birth, Ishmael was destined for greatness, and his legacy would continue through the 12 tribes that would descend from him. Now, who are the 12 tribes of Ishmael? Let's delve deeper into the legacy of Ishmael through his 12 sons, who became the founders of 12 distinct tribes. In Genesis 25, we witness the fulfillment of God's promise to Abraham and Hagar concerning Ishmael's descendants. These are the names of the sons of Ishmael by their names, according to their generations. The firstborn of Ishmael, Nebajoth, then Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Hadar, Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedemah. These were the sons of Ishmael, and these were their names by their towns and their settlements, 12 princes according to their nations. Genesis 25 verses 13 to 16. Each of these 12 sons represents a distinct tribe that played a significant role in the history and culture of the Arabian Peninsula. Let's take a closer look at these names and the regions they are believed to have inhabited. Number 1. Nebajoth. Nebajoth, the firstborn of Ishmael, is often associated with the Nabateans, an ancient Arab people who established a kingdom in what is now Jordan, including the famous city of Petra. Isaiah mentions Nebajoth in a prophecy concerning the future glory of Israel. All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together to you, the rams of Nebaioth shall minister to you, they shall ascend with acceptance on my altar, and I will glorify the house of my glory. Isaiah chapter 60 verse 7. This suggests that Nebajoth's descendants were involved in the pastoral economy, contributing to the wealth and prosperity of their region. Number 2. Kedar. Kedar, one of the more prominent sons, is frequently mentioned in the Bible. His descendants were known for their skills in archery and lived in the Arabian deserts. Kedar is often used as a synonym for the Bedouin tribes of Arabia, who lived a nomadic lifestyle. Isaiah speaks of Kedar's future in the context of God's judgment. For thus the Lord has said to me, within a year, according to the year of a hired man, all the glory of Kedar will fail, and the remainder of the number of archers, the mighty men of the people of Kedar, will be diminished, for the Lord God of Israel has spoken it. Isaiah chapter 21 verses 16 to 17. This verse reflects the martial prowess of Kedar's descendants and their significant presence in the Arabian Peninsula. Number 3, 4, and 5. Adbeel, Mibsam, and Mishma. These three tribes, though less frequently mentioned in historical records, were likely involved in trade and commerce. Their names suggest a continuation of Ishmael's legacy in areas near the northern Arabian Peninsula, contributing to the region's economic vitality. Number 6. Duma. Duma is another son whose name appears in biblical texts. Duma is also a place name mentioned in Isaiah chapter 21 verses 11 to 12 in the context of an oracle, the burden against Duma. He calls to me out of Seir, Watchman, what of the night? Watchman, what of the night? The watchman said, the morning comes and also the night. If you will inquire, return, come back. This passage indicates that the descendants of Duma lived in a region of strategic importance, possibly located near the border of Edom. Number 7. Tema. The descendants of Tema are mentioned in the Bible as well, particularly in the context of trade routes. Tema, a region in the Arabian Peninsula, became an important oasis and trading hub. The inhabitants of the land of Tema brought water to him who was thirsty. They prevented with their bread him that fled. Isaiah chapter 21 verse 14. This highlights Tema's role in providing sustenance to travelers and merchants passing through the harsh desert. Number 8, 9, and 10. Jetur, Naphish, and Kedema. These three tribes are mentioned together in 1 Chronicles chapter 5 verses 18 to 19. Where they are described as being involved in a conflict with the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. The sons of Reuben, the Gadites, and half the tribe of Manasseh had 44,760 valiant men, men able to bear shield and sword, to shoot with the bow, and skillful in war, who went to war. They made war with the Hagrites, Jetur, Naphish, and Nodab. This verse demonstrates that these tribes were not only established in the region, but also actively engaged in military conflicts, indicating their strength and the territories they controlled. Number 11, Massa. Massa is believed to have been located in northern Arabia. The tribe of Massa may have had interactions with other groups, possibly engaging in trade or even contributing to the cultural exchange between different peoples of the region. Number 12, Hadar. Hadar, also spelled Hadad in some versions, is a name shared with a prominent figure in Edomite royalty. Although not much is detailed about this tribe in the Bible, Hadar's descendants likely lived in proximity to the other Ishmaelite tribes, contributing to the shared culture and heritage of the region. Now, let's discuss about the question, who are the descendants of Ishmael today? Identifying the modern descendants of Ishmael's 12 tribes is indeed a complex task, given the vast passage of time, numerous migrations, and the intermingling of various people groups throughout history. However, it is widely accepted among scholars and within traditional beliefs that the Arab peoples, particularly those in the Arabian Peninsula, are the direct descendants of Ishmael. This belief is deeply rooted in both historical records and religious traditions. The Arab identity itself is closely tied to the lineage of Ishmael. The Bible tells us that Ishmael settled in the region of Havilah to Shur, near the border of Egypt, as you go toward Assyria, Genesis chapter 25 verse 18. This area roughly corresponds to the modern Arabian Peninsula, where Arab culture and civilization have flourished for centuries. In Genesis chapter 37 verses 25 to 28, we also see the Ishmaelites as merchants. And they sat down to eat a meal. Then they lifted their eyes and looked, and there was a company of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead with their camels, bearing spices, balm, and myrrh, on their way to carry them down to Egypt. So Judah said to his brothers, "What profit is there if we kill our brother and conceal his blood? Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh." And his brothers listened. Then Midianite traders passed by. So the brothers pulled Joseph up and lifted him out of the pit, and sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 shekels of silver. And they took Joseph to Egypt. This passage highlights the role of the Ishmaelites in long-distance trade, connecting various regions and cultures. The influence of these tribes extended far beyond their immediate regions. They were instrumental in the spread of culture, trade, and even military conflicts across the Arabian Peninsula and into neighboring territories. Over time, their descendants contributed to the development of early Arab nations, influencing the region's language, customs, and trade networks. Many Arab genealogies trace their roots back to Ishmael, and this connection has been a point of pride and identity within the Arab world. The phrase, sons of Ishmael, has historically been used to refer to Arabs, particularly those of the desert regions. The continuity of this identity is a testament to the enduring legacy of Ishmael's descendants. Among the groups often associated with Ishmael's descendants are the Bedouin tribes. These nomadic peoples have traditionally roamed the deserts of Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Syria, and other parts of the Middle East. The Bedouins are known for their resilience, deep cultural traditions, and strong oral histories, many of which speak of their lineage descending from the sons of Ishmael. Although direct genealogical links are difficult to establish after thousands of years, the cultural and historical continuity within these tribes suggests a strong connection to Ishmael's lineage. The nomadic lifestyle of the Bedouins mirrors the description of Ishmael in Genesis chapter 16 verse 12. He shall be a wild man, his hand shall be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. This prophecy highlights Ishmael's independent and resilient nature, traits that have been preserved in the Bedouin way of life over the centuries. Beyond the Bedouin tribes, the broader Arab world, which spans from the Arabian Peninsula to North Africa, is also believed to be largely descended from Ishmael. The spread of Arab culture and language, particularly following the rise of Islam, has integrated many peoples into this shared identity. However, the core of Arab identity, especially among those who trace their roots to the Arabian Peninsula, remains closely linked to Ishmael. Interestingly, the Bible itself acknowledges the extensive influence and spread of Ishmael's descendants. In Isaiah chapter 60 verses 6 to 7, a prophecy speaks of the future glory of Israel and mentions the descendants of Ishmael bringing gifts. The multitude of camels shall cover your land, the dromedaries of Midian and Ephah. All those from Sheba shall come, they shall bring gold and incense, and they shall proclaim the praises of the Lord. All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together to you, the rams of Nebaioth shall minister to you, they shall ascend with acceptance on my altar, and I will glorify the house of my glory. This passage underscores the idea that the descendants of Ishmael would continue to play a significant role in the region's spiritual and economic life, contributing to the wealth and prosperity of the nations. Despite these connections, tracing the exact lineage of modern-day peoples back to the 12 tribes of Ishmael is challenging. The passage of millennia, migrations, intermarriages, and the blending of cultures make it difficult to draw clear genealogical lines. Additionally, historical records from the time of Ishmael's descendants are sparse, adding to the complexity. However, the cultural and religious traditions that have been passed down through generations provide a strong indication that many in the Arab world today see themselves as the heirs of Ishmael's legacy. The enduring respect for Ishmael's name, his role as a patriarch in Islamic tradition, and the continuous reference to his descendants in historical records all support this belief. Now let's continue explore the legacy of Ishmael's descendants. The legacy of Ishmael's descendants is far-reaching, particularly in shaping the culture, commerce, and even the geopolitical landscape of the Arabian Peninsula and surrounding regions. The 12 tribes that emerged from Ishmael became significant players in the ancient world, influencing the development of early Arab nations and the broader cultural fabric of the Middle East. The Arabian Peninsula, where these tribes predominantly settled, became a vital hub for trade, connecting the East and West. The descendants of Ishmael played a crucial role in this, particularly in the trade of spices, incense, and other valuable goods. As mentioned earlier, the Ishmaelites are portrayed in Genesis chapter 37 verses 25 to 28 as merchants engaged in the long-distance trade, transporting goods such as spices, balm, and myrrh from Gilead to Egypt. This passage not only highlights their role in commerce, but also their integration into the larger economic networks of the ancient Near East. Furthermore, these tribes contributed to the cultural exchange across regions. The Arabian Peninsula's strategic location meant that Ishmael's descendants were in contact with various civilizations, from the Egyptians to the Mesopotamians and beyond. The interaction between these different cultures facilitated the exchange of ideas, technologies, and traditions, which helped to shape the cultural landscape of the region. Ishmael's descendants were not only merchants and traders, but also warriors. The tribe of Kedar, in particular, is frequently mentioned in the Bible as a powerful and influential group. In Isaiah chapter 21 verses 16 to 17, we see a prophecy concerning Kedar. For thus the Lord has said to me, within a year, according to the year of a hired man, all the glory of Kedar will fail, and the remainder of the number of archers, the mighty men of the people of Kedar, will be diminished, for the Lord God of Israel has spoken it. This passage indicates that Kedar was not only wealthy, but also militarily powerful, known for their skilled archers. The tribe's influence extended beyond their immediate territory, affecting the balance of power in the region. Their eventual decline, as prophesied by Isaiah, reflects the shifting dynamics of power in the ancient world, where even the mightiest could fall. Additionally, the tribes of Jetur, Naphish, and others are noted in 1 Chronicles, chapter 5, verses 18 to 19 for their involvement in conflicts with the Israelites. The sons of Reuben, the Gadites, and half the tribe of Manasseh had 44,760 valiant men able to bear shield and sword, to shoot with the bow, and skillful in war, who went to war. They made war with the Hagrites, Jetur, Naphish, and Nodab. These conflicts illustrate the martial capabilities of Ishmael's descendants and their significant role in the military history of the region. The tribes were formidable opponents, capable of engaging in large-scale warfare and impacting the course of history. The legacy of Ishmael's descendants is also evident in the religious and spiritual heritage of the region. In Islamic tradition, Ishmael is considered a patriarch and a prophet, revered as the ancestor of the Arab people. According to Islamic teachings, Ishmael and his father Abraham are believed to have built the Kaaba in Mecca, establishing it as a central place of worship. This connection underscores the deep spiritual significance of Ishmael's lineage in the Islamic faith, influencing the religious landscape of the Arabian Peninsula and beyond. The Bible also reflects on the spiritual implications of Ishmael's legacy. In Galatians chapter 4, verses 22 to 31, the Apostle Paul uses the story of Ishmael and Isaac to illustrate the difference between the Old Covenant, represented by Ishmael, and the New Covenant, represented by Isaac. This allegory emphasizes the broader spiritual significance of Ishmael's descendants in the context of God's redemptive plan for humanity. As time progressed, the descendants of Ishmael became integral to the formation of early Arab nations. The tribe spread across the Arabian Peninsula, influencing the development of language, culture, and social structures. The genealogies and histories of many Arab tribes trace their origins back to Ishmael, cementing his place as a foundational figure in the history of the region. The interaction between Ishmael's descendants and other civilizations also played a role in shaping the early Arab identity. Through trade, conflict, and cultural exchange, the tribes contributed to the development of what would become the Arab world, a region known for its rich cultural heritage, strategic importance, and enduring influence. The legacy of Ishmael's descendants is multifaceted, encompassing cultural, commercial, military, and spiritual dimensions. Their influence on the Arabian Peninsula and the broader region is undeniable, shaping the course of history in ways that continue to resonate today. The tribes of Ishmael not only fulfilled the promise made to Hagar, but also played a crucial role in the development of the early Arab nations, leaving a legacy that has endured for millennia. The legacy of Ishmael's descendants is alive and well in the modern Middle Eastern and North African regions. Whether through direct lineage, cultural heritage, or religious tradition, the impact of Ishmael's 12 tribes continues to resonate today. The Arab world, with its rich history and diverse peoples, stands as a testament to the enduring influence of Ishmael and the fulfillment of God's promises to him. In conclusion, the 12 tribes of Ishmael played a significant role in biblical history and continue to influence the world today. Their legacy is woven into the fabric of the Middle East and beyond, reminding us of the enduring impact of God's promises. If you found this exploration of Ishmael's descendants insightful, please like this video, share it with others who might be interested, and subscribe to our channel for more biblical content. Let's continue to learn, grow, and seek the truth together. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you.